Madam Chair, members of the board.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is 9:30 a.m. and today is Thursday, October 15th. My name is Brian Zumwalt. I'm the director of the county's Office of Technology and Innovation. I'll be playing the role of technology moderator for today's virtual meeting. On the panel with me is Don Kroll from the county attorney's office, who will be serving as a process moderator. Before we start the meeting, I'd like to do a quick roll call, make sure we've got communications for each commissioner. And today we will start with Commissioner Eggers.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning, sir. Commissioner Steele.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. Commissioner Welch.
Morning, Brian.
Good morning. Commissioner Long.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. Commissioner Justice.
Good morning, Brian.
Thank you, sir. And Commissioner Peters.
Morning, Brian.
Good morning. And Commissioner Gerard.
Morning, all. Okay, for our work session this morning, we're talking about Small Business Enterprise Program. Barry, you want to kick that off?
Yes. So good morning, everyone. You've been asking about the SBE program and the work that's been done on that. Dr. Cynthia Johnson's on the panel. They've been working really hard on this program. Very, very proud of all the departments coming together and trying to work on how to increase participation of small businesses in county contracts. They've also worked with so many different businesses on signing them up to where they can participate in this program. But without stealing any of her thunder, I'll turn it over to her and let her outline where we've come thus far and kind of where we're going in the future. So Dr. Johnson.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am so honored to be here to talk about the SBE program. I am Cynthia Johnson. I'm with the Office of Small Business and Supplier Diversity. Next slide, please. Our Small Business Enterprise Program, our goal is to increase the number of, increase the utilization of SBEs in our procurement opportunities. So before I share with you what we've been doing, I want to make sure I take the time to thank you all for your support and leadership. It has definitely helped us reshape the SBE program. This is our second full year of the program. And so today I'll be sharing with you our annual report. With our goals, how we work our program is we accomplish these goals through these three key areas. Ongoing education and outreach to our internal and external partners, contract diversification, vendor registration, and compliance. And this year we have trained over 154 internal staff about the SBE program policies and expectations. We participated in events such as trade shows, industry roundtables, community outreach, and even during COVID, we have transitioned our outreach to a virtual platform. So we created an SBE collaborative, and that's with 7 local government agencies. PSTA, the Pinellas County School District, St. Pete Clearwater Airport, Tampa Bay Water, and several of our cities. We meet quarterly to talk about vendor opportunities and how we can help and support SBEs. We also share best practices on how to really leverage the opportunity for the SBE. Through our contract diversification, we divide this up into 3 core areas. The sheltered market, which is contracts between 5 and 100,000. And then we work very closely with our project managers to set SBE goals on our CIP projects. And then thirdly, with the RFP and the RFI process, individuals can get up to 100 points added to the evaluation for utilizing SBEs. And then lastly, that has been tremendously helpful for us is the vendor registration and compliance. This really enables me to be able to monitor and follow the activity and utilization. We are now implementing the new purchasing bid notification system, ePro. Now our vendors will be able to register to receive notifications at no cost. download solicitations, and submit electronic proposals. This is a big deal for us that they can now do this virtually. And then, of course, our B2G vendor database system, which is our system that is integrated with Opus. So all of the data that I'll be sharing with you today will come from that system, but the information comes directly from Opus. Then that way we know that we have accurate information. Next slide, please. Our office's core values is what really guides us to support the SBEs and implementing the SBE program. So we came up with this, we care, and we cared before COVID. So our care model is that we communicate opportunities and processes. We manage the accountability for inclusion, equity, and diversity. We regulate and we monitor the program activity, and we evaluate the program utilization and its effectiveness. Next slide, please. Here is our annual report for 2020. For fiscal year 2020, our program saw significant improvement and noted success. During our first full year implementation in 2019, we awarded 129 contracts for $7,123,000. And this year, we tripled that number of awards to 431 awards for $17,833,000 in payments. I did say that 2020 payments were over 200% of 2019. I note payments because payments is actual dollars in the pockets of the entrepreneurs. So payments always make me happy. I love payments. Payments is real money in the pockets of our businesses. We accomplished this by working with the project managers, expanding our recruitment efforts, providing workshops, partner trainings, one-on-one consultants with the SBEs. We coached them, we supported them along the way. And these efforts resulted in about more of 561 jobs through these SBEs that we helped support this year. Currently, we have 654 vendors in our database, and that is as of September the 30th. With us working with CARES, every now and then we trickle in a few new vendors when they hear more about the program. So in spite of the last 7 months of COVID, we still spent 705 hours of one-on-one consultations with the SBEs. We either did it in person or lately we've been doing it virtually. We were able to hold 27 events, and in those 27 events, we had 847 attendees. On tomorrow, we will be holding our annual reverse trade show where we are doing it virtually, and we have over 90 participants already registered to attend. Next slide, please.
Hey, Dr. Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
quick question. So those numbers on the previous slide, those are actual dollars that got to the small business that they could have been hired on by a general contractor, and they're just a subcontractor, or is this money for the entire contract that was given to an organization that has qualified, but or is it just the part that has gotten to the ultimate small business?
The 17 million that you see are actual dollars that is a combination of an SBE who was awarded as a sub, but some of our SBEs get awarded as a prime contractor as well. So the program has two major components. One is the sheltered market piece, and that's included in these numbers. And the other is goals. When we set subcontracting goals on our CIP projects, and that is inclusive of the 17 million. So the 17 million is inclusive of the entire program structure.
But if the main contract itself has a the organization itself does not qualify, but they've agreed to sub out jobs to organizations that do qualify, the piece that goes to the parent company, so to speak, those numbers aren't included in here.
No, those
Okay.
numbers are not included. This is only the registered SBEs. And these are numbers for SBEs that are registered within our system.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
You're very welcome. Next slide, please. I think it's always important to see where you're come from so that you can plan where you're going. So I like to share a program comparison so that we can, now that we have concluded our second full year, we can really get a perspective of where the program has gone. So starting at FY 2018, the graph shows awards and payments. It is important to note that awards may be slightly higher or lower than payments because the award amounts may be adjusted during that contract year. So I separated the two so that we can look at them separately. So for FY 2019, which was our first full year of implementation, you'll see that the awards in 2019, you'll see that the awards was $1.1 million. And then in I'm sorry, I just was reading and I need to restate that. So our information is taken from Opus and B2G. Awards due for 2020 was $20 million, 718,000, compared to in 2019, our first full year, it was only $6 million, 467. And that's awards. In payments, it's a little different. In 2019, our payments were $7,123,000, and our payments in 2020 was $17,976,000. So it's important to note that as the program has grown and we have looked at where we've come from, the software is really making a difference on how we're able to accurately account for the dollars that we spend. If you all know, when we first had this conversation, we came up with less than $100,000 of payments. We were able to go and capture some of that, and our baseline for the program was $288,000, and that was in 2018 when we initially started the implementation. So the blue and the yellow really indicates 2 full years of implementation and the comparison of the awards and payments. Thank you, Brian. Next slide, please. Now, part of our program structure is that annually we evaluate the program effectiveness. I've outlined some opportunities for growth that we have gleaned from feedback in working with our internal and external partners. We are using these opportunities for growth to set the standard for how we create our 2021 work plan. Our program continues to be race and gender neutral. However, we do ask our vendors to self-report their business demographics for informational and monitoring purposes. Evaluation of the program and its utilization of SBEs reveal that there is still some need that we need to increase the number of minority, women, veteran-owned businesses within the program, and opportunities to create contracts and awards for these business industries. We need greater diversification of our contract opportunities. We need to continue to train and build programs that are focused on vendors' sustainability and their performance. And then we need to strategically match our vendors with the right opportunities. And then options for bonding and insurance continues to be a challenge for our vendors. Next slide, please. The SBE Work Plan for 2021. We intentionally try to create a long-term success plan for our businesses because it is important not only that they are part of the program, that they are able to sustain themselves in our program and any other program so that they can contribute to the economy. This work plan will help us focus on vendor development, outreach, equitable inclusion, and collaborative economic development. So we are planning to partner with industry organizations to conduct industry-specific training. We'll already have scheduled one for each quarter of 21. We'll be working with the Florida Department of Transportation and the Construction Estimating Institute on a bonding program to try to help our SBEs be part of their apprentice program. In fact, FDOT is actually going to conduct the workshops in Pinellas County this year. So I've been really working with them to actually bring the program to us. It's usually in Tallahassee. And we do have that arrangement and we're working on the schedule for that. We're going to participate in the Florida Minority Supplier Development Council's trade show in Matchmaker. That was an area of growth for us. So we're going to intentionally put the right people in the room and try to match them up with some more opportunities. We'll be working with the Pinellas County Urban League and their Serious Business Academy. In equitable inclusion, we here at the county, I would be remiss if I did not say how exciting it has been to work with our project managers, because without them identifying opportunities, it would make it very difficult for us to have tripled the amount of contracts and do what we've done. So SBEs are going to be included in our job contract process, which is very interesting because it's not an afterthought. They're going to be, the whole process has been changed. We're working on it with Public Works to be a model to spread throughout the organization on how we can get the SBEs and their participation in the front end so that we can work it through the entire process. The Office of Small Business and Supplier Diversity, we now participate in pre-bid meetings, the pre-construction meetings. We are an active member of those meetings right now. And then we continue to support the entrepreneur or the small business as they work through their projects. Ultimately, we would like to match small minority firms up with some large prime firms and create a mentor protege type program with these contractors. We recruit and utilize SBEs for CCNA market projects. In this, we targeted 25 SBE CCNA, and what that means is we're trying to target some smaller professional service contractors that we can break up some contracts under $100,000 and give them that opportunity, some architects, some engineers who could have the capacity to perform at that level. And we had a target of 25. Last I checked, at the end of August, we had 45 who were already pre-qualified. So what we're going to do is leave that window to participate open so we can attract more smaller CCNA professionals to join the program as we create new opportunities. And then we're going to increase the goal expectations to be more aligned with what we have as far as ready, willing, and able vendors. Right now, the average goal participation is about 5%. But we're finding that many of our prime contractors, when they work with our SBEs, they're performing at 10%, 14%. one contract, we had a performance of 56% SBEs on that project, and it wasn't awarded to an SBE. It was that prime contractor using a small business. Next slide, please. So, as part of our work plan, we most definitely will continue to have collaborative economic development. As I stated earlier, we do have a small business enterprise collaborative, and we're looking to add 4 new members to this collaborative. That includes the Florida Department of Transportation, the Florida Office of Supplier Diversity, the National Association of Black Women in Construction, and a partnership with Construction Estimating Institute. We plan to post our partner opportunities on our SBE website. And when we say post the partner opportunities on the website, we created this collaborative because I think that it's important that our SBEs understand they need to diversify their opportunity base, that their opportunities are not only with Pinellas County, but they can have opportunities with PSTA, with Tampa Bay Water. And so we're going to start sharing a diverse pool of opportunities to our SBEs so that they can grow stronger and build their capacity and utilize all of their potential networks and not just focus on one funding stream, if you will. So we'll have the Supplier Diversity Exchange. That's more of a trade show opportunity. And then we have to really push our new Pinellas ePro vendor registration system. This system is new. All of our vendors have to register in it because it's how we send out notifications. And we will be working very closely with purchasing to do a lot of outreach on that. And last slide, please. Thank you, Brian. I think it's always great to share some successes. When I was looking through the list, it was kind of hard to pick who do I put up here. So I chose prime contractors who really have just done a yeoman's job supporting small business enterprises. New Vista is one of our builders, our construction companies. New Vista consistently exceeds their SBE goals. On average, they have about a 19.77% SBE inclusion. And typically their contract requires anywhere between 5 and 10%. New Vista has consistently been a champion of SBEs. And then we have creative contractors. Creative contractors, they are working on the court consolidation project, and they were awarded that contract prior to us revising our SBE program. But we went to them, I met with them, and they said, absolutely, Dr. J, I'll participate. I know we don't, it wasn't part of our initial agreement, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to volunteer and put all of my SBE information and share it so that you can monitor what we're doing. And this is a major opportunity. Not only the creative contractors do that, but they have worked with us to work with other prime contractors to get them to put their information in our system and get all of their small businesses registered, and they're great outreach partners. So lastly, I just wanted to say, small businesses are doing big things. Just because they're small, a lot of them are really mighty. They're doing some wonderful things. CMS was awarded a competitive bid contract with Public Works for $2.8 million. In Suncoast Development, that's one of our small businesses, and they were awarded the prime on a $14 million sidewalk contract. It's over 5 years, but it just goes to show the ability that our small businesses have. And the Guinan Group was awarded the COVID-19 carpet cleaning contract for $141,000. And I put that to just really show the diverse abilities and capabilities of our SBEs. We have them from, civil engineers all the way down to whatever the need is. And what we want to really focus on this year is looking at our opportunities for 2020 and specifically going after areas of gap where we may not have a large pool of SBEs to satisfy that need. So that's part of our direct matchmaking need that we'll be doing over the next year. And next slide. That's all that I have to share with you this morning. And I want you all to know that because of your leadership, this has really transformed the lives of many of our small businesses. And for us to start building a reputation in the community that Pinellas County is listening. We are supportive of small businesses. We are doing the work and we have the evidence to show that it is working. So I thank you all for your leadership and I appreciate that you would entrust me to lead such a wonderful initiative. As you could tell, I get all excited and giddy about this. This is my thing. So any questions for me?
Well, no, just thank you, Cynthia. This is wonderful news. You've done an incredible job.
Yeah.
Commissioner Welch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Brian, I don't know if you got my email. I just sent you a little graphic. Man, he's on top of it.
Yeah.
So I know you remember this, Dr. Johnson.
That's where it all started.
That's where it started. For folks who are watching, this is from the 2018 community conversation when we kicked this off. And, everything that's on that presentation, you've accomplished, Dr. Johnson, and the board set this as a priority, but without your talent and all of your team members, from BTS, and getting the software to purchasing to legal. I mean, it's just across the board. And also Barry's strong leadership in setting that tone from the top just made a huge difference. And the one slide you showed, and I'm going to use a $20 million number, to go from 70,000 to over 20 million in awards for small businesses in our community. There was a part of that graphic that talked about the road to opportunity. And that's exactly what it is. It's providing an opportunity for small businesses in our community to participate. So y'all have just done an outstanding job. I could talk about this all day with you, but I'll just limit it to a couple of questions. Mm-hmm. An important piece of it was getting the data back on utilization.
Right.
And Mr. Morrison, I believe was his name, the consultant. I remember Commissioner Eggers and I were both, among other folks, asking about a disparity study. And his recommendation was, no, you really need to get the data first. So my question is, how much data do we think we need to accumulate in terms of transactions or time before we can look at whether a disparity study is something the board wants to move forward with? And then the second question I have for you is, I remember we had the stat that stood out was out of $400 million of opportunities, only 70,000 went to small businesses. So based on that $400 million number, should our target be, if you did 10% of that, in the $40 million range? I know we've made a lot of progress getting to 20 million, but what should the target be based on that $400 million number? Those are the two questions I have at this point.
Okay, the first question regarding the disparity study. As you know, our program continues to be race and gender neutral. And until we have enough data to make for you all to make a good decision on whether we should move forward with such a study to determine whether or not we need a race and gender specific program. According to the research and the information that we did with the consultant, he asked that we have 3 years of information so that you all can have a good, solid base for judgment. So what we have been doing to create the information source for you to be able to utilize is we've been asking our SBEs to volunteer their demographic information. It has not been validated, but they do volunteer that information. And based on the information that they offer us, and about 92% of them do fill out the demographic component of that. So we do have some opportunities for growth in our women, minorities, including Blacks, Hispanic, our Asian populations, for additional focus and opportunity development. And that's why you'll see on our plan, we specifically targeted some of those areas to increase not only participation by African-American businesses and Hispanic businesses and Asian businesses, but we targeted organizations who can help us access those business populations. And then we're going to target opportunities to make sure that they are in the pool to compete for them. So that's what the disparity, Barry.
Oh, no, I was just going to add, Commissioner, that Dr. Johnson can really speak to what's maybe we feel is the next year's goal or where we can go with it. But if you think about it a couple of ways, one, you know, what you're seeing is what gets measured gets done. And we've asked businesses that this is a priority of the county commission, and they're stepping forward. So the question is, where are we missing the opportunities? Where are we not seeing that type of participation? Some of it goes even within our construction methodologies. Okay, when you just send out and you go to a general, then you don't control the underlying subs. You know, so there some of the methodology we can move to. We've seen Dr. Johnson really work with on our job contract or job order contracting. There, if you're a small business, you don't have to put up the bid bond or the performance bond associated with the project. That's the general. And so utilizing and connecting them, it's very easy to do and expand that effort. I think there's a lot of opportunity in that job order contracting area. The other is in some of our construction methodologies. When we go to a construction manager at risk, then we control that bid process. And we need to break down these packages to where smaller businesses can compete and get them. They're not going to be able to have the resources and the bonding requirements to do large, some of our smaller businesses, some of these larger jobs. And so if we break those down and then assign them to a general, then it lets us control that. So some of it is the methodology we use in procuring the goods and services. So that's an area where we continue to work with our departments, work with our project managers who have to manage those projects, you know, and set ourselves up for success in the way we do that. You just awarded a contract that would allow us, this was a month ago, allow us to go out and hire a owner's rep. That's setting us up to be able to then manage all the different competing and consolidate the subs into under a construction manager at risk. So some of that is a kind of a work in progress that we're working. That'll allow us to tap a lot more opportunities in the future. And so those are structural issues that we're also working on.
Well, Barry, thank you. And Madam Chair, I'll conclude my comments with this. I, again, just wanted to thank Barry because during his interview process, I know all of us asked him about that as a candidate, and he really came through with what he promised during the recruitment effort. And finally, I just want to thank my colleagues on the commission because y'all stepped forward and funded this. Without the staff, this would not have been successful. Without the investment in the software and all the other things that made the outreach and the monitoring successful, it wouldn't have happened. So I want to thank my colleagues as well. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
No, thank you for your leadership on this. Anybody else? Yes, Commissioner Justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And not a question, but I just wanted to echo what you were just saying. I appreciate Commissioner Welch really highlighting this issue, bringing it to our attention. And over the last couple of years, when I've been out in the community talking to folks, and I start telling them how this wasn't a big infusion of cash or something, it was about educating the members of our community how they could get involved, how they could bid on government contracts, how they could have that access for their small business. Everyone in the audience, you see their heads nod, and it was just kind of like, why weren't we doing this before? So a great success story for all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? For some reason, I can't see everybody, but if you have your hand raised, just speak out. All right, let's move on then to agenda briefing. Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson.
Okay, under the agenda brief, items 2 and 3 are reports from the clerk of the circuit court. And items 4 through 8 are reports for filing. If there's any questions on any of those. Item number 9 is a ranking of firms and with Wharton Smith for professional build services pertaining to the North Reddington Beach Fire and Lift Station Replacement Project. This was $527,000 for phase 1 of the project. And as you can see before down below, 51% was to an SBE firm. Item number 10 and 11 are county administrator report and files. Item number 12 is fiscal year 20 board budget alignment number 5 to realign appropriations. The majority of these are related to, wait a minute, let me get my spot, I just lost it. A total of a little over 1.4 million is general fund reserves for contingencies. And then there's a series of the breakdown is below. So if there's any specific questions, the majority of that is $945,000 for unanticipated expenses related to COVID in facilities.
Okay.
Item number 13 is a ranking of firms with Econolite systems for advanced traffic management systems. This is replacing their software, outdated software applications. They're going to consolidate down several pieces into one for $1.7 million. Item number 14 is a ranking of firms for parks and trails. This is professional engineering services, and they have 4 firms listed that they'll use for different projects throughout the year. Item number 15 is an award of a bid to Icon Supply. This is for variable frequency drives and repair and parts and maintenance at the utilities department. Item number 16 is an award of bid to Premier Magnesia for magnesium hydroxide and equipment services. I would not want to be, an MC on with technical terms. So this is all the rotor control equipment and program. So large expenditure over 5 years, $7.7 million. We have county
17 through 19 are all notices of new lawsuits we will be defending. They each involve a trip and fall at various locations throughout the county.
Item number 20 is Housing Finance Authority. So this is adopting and approving the fiscal year 19-20 general fund budget as approved by the Housing Finance Authority Board of Directors. And so this is receipt and filed. The next is the 2021 budget. So this reflects a decrease. The first one reflects a decrease in the overall budget from the 19-20 budget, and the next is adopting or approving the 2021 budget for them. You have 2 receipt and files for the Sheriff's Office. Item number 24 is the local state of emergency. Item number 25 is interlocal agreement with Barrier Island municipalities for, this is for the Gulf Boulevard undergrounding project, 35 million as promised as part of the original penny, as penny 4.
We have a
Yes,
question.
Commissioner Seal.
I was just curious, we were working on getting the entire area done as one project. So where is that in the whole scheme of things?
Well, it didn't work because the amounts to do all of the work was greater than the 35 million, and the municipalities didn't want to commit to the additional amount, and so they basically decided that they'll do it individually. And so then this is the amount that we're providing to them, and so they can use that for their undergrounding, and we'll get more of it done, but they'll incorporate it with their individual projects. It came in about 44 million, I think, on the low end, and each year it would go up by cost escalation of about $3 or $4 million. I'd have to get Brian to confirm the amount, but I think that's right. And so we did put that out. It was a discussion item. Talked about, is there any other ways of bridging that gap? And I think the consensus of the municipalities were that they would like just to receive the funds, and they'll try to incorporate it within their individual projects and do as much as they can do.
Okay. Commissioner Long.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Chair. Barry, I wondered if you might be in a position to give us a little update, just a bit, if you know, of where our little, I forgot what we're calling it, but our little exploratory group that we put together with our physicians and the hospitals and Dr. Cho and those folks to give us a path forward with regard to the emergency order situation. And of course, we're all aware that the numbers are ticking up, and I'm wondering how that weighs into their discussions, if at all, considering what's going on across the country.
Well, I think the 2 things. One, the doctors from the CEOs from the various hospital groups did meet last night with Dr. Cho. I talked to Dr. Cho this morning regarding their progress. Some of the criteria I put out on the call the other morning it's pretty much a similar type criteria that they're looking at. They're confirming back with their epidemiologist within the various hospital groups to see if, that's kind of where they're at. We're going to have a report for you on Tuesday. And we, and so we'll try to, I'll let them speak to that. Dr. Cho will speak to it. They're certainly cognizant of the time and the sensitivity of it, but you're exactly right. Just some of the initial, data that they're looking at, we, over these last several, weeks, we've seen numbers that are stronger, but now we're starting to see an uptick. I don't think it's long enough to say that that is a trend, but it's something that we're concerned about and we're watching. And I think that the criteria and the data that they're looking for will help you in trying to evaluate it going forward. But I'll save that until we kind of solidify their thoughts on that, and I'll have that ready for you next Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
We talked about this before. Item number 26. This was the agreement to subscribe to Duke Energy's Clean Energy Connection Program. If you recall, when we come to you before, we didn't know exactly, we were going to apply for it. We didn't know exactly what we would be awarded. And so you can see that under here, they gave us about 40% of what we asked for in terms of energy that we can purchase out of solar. But they did a cost-effective analysis. And so over the life of the 30-year contract of the program, it would actually save us money. And so it's cost-effective. We can participate. There's very few fees associated with it. It's really as we use it. We also have the ability to back out of it at any time. And so we're not committed to anything long-term. But this is the program. It was cost effective as they did the analysis, but we got a lot less than, because we knew they would have to divide it out over the entire state. So they had very little solar to kind of divide out. But we think it's a good program. It's cost effective, and it helps us with our green energy efforts. Item number 27 is a contract with the state of Florida Health for operations of, this is for the operating for the Department of Health. As you can see, they break down the program, $5.5 million for core services and $1.5 million for the school nurse program. Item 28 is a grant award with Department of Health and Human Services. This is $811,000. This is for the Bayside Clinic. So this was a one-time grant. This will allow an expansion of the Bayside Clinic. It outlines their what they'll do with the facility. But in essence, it gives them additional, it's a very small facility. It gives them a little additional exam rooms. It gives them additional capabilities for services out at the Bayside Clinic. Item number 29 is a second amendment to the Behavioral Health Consulting Services with KPMG. This was as part of our budget award. This would be that next phase. We want to get that process going with them. And so this is the award to KPMG. Commissioner, you have a question?
Oh, Commissioner Peters has a question.
Commissioner Peters, I'm sorry, I can't see you, but.
Thank you. I'm going to bring this up again and not to stress you guys out about my comments about this, but, since we talked about KPMG and this contract, there's been a lot of talk about defunding police. There's been a lot of talk about taking police out of kind of law enforcement area when it comes to mental health and addiction. And currently in Pinellas County, our receiving facility is law enforcement. Our receiving facility is the jail. And if you look at our two strongest programs, all our referrals are coming from the sheriff's office. And KPMG's phase 3 proposal, which is mentioned in this amendment on how we contracted with them to do phase 2 and phase 3, but currently we're only funding phase 2. If we were to move forward, even with the process, it would take all of this, it would take us 2 years from today to get a receiving facility that was finally out of the justice system. Currently, if you need help and you have severe mental illness, the place you have to go is to get arrested. And our sheriff, we've got about 250 people in our PIC team that they get intense case management. And every one of those 250 people are referred to by the sheriff. The sheriff is putting mental health people in his cruisers, which I agree with 100%. But the sheriff, the criminal justice system right now is our mental health system. It is the mental health system that we have for referrals and for a receiving facility. And KPMG's virtual access center gets you away from brick and mortar, and it shifts your receiving facility from the criminal justice system into a healthcare receiving facility that anyone can access and get access to. Even the sheriff then could refer people into that access center, and he wouldn't be the referral system into this PIC team of 250 people. And I still want to implore you guys it's still 2 years away. If we were to contract with them today, it would take us 2 years to get that even started. And at the process in which we're going now, we're going to wait a year, which puts us 2 years away. So it's 3 years in which we're going to continue to keep the mental health receiving facility in the criminal justice system. And if we haven't heard enough in the news about how mental health does not belong in the criminal justice system, I really believe that we need to take the lead that other counties are doing and stop making it the criminal justice system and start making mental health referral systems part of the healthcare system. And so I'm going to bring it up every opportunity I can and hope that you all will finally come around and understand that by funding phase 3 now, that would allow us in 2 years. I mean, it isn't a quick process, but in 2 years, we could start to shift mental health out of the criminal justice system, out of law enforcement, and into the healthcare system. And I just hope that that you all will start considering that. The more we talk about defunding the police, the more we talk about how we have to put licensed mental health instead of police. Yeah, sure. But until we have a system that's part of the healthcare system and out of the criminal justice system, we're never going to get there. And so I'm hoping that this board will start considering moving that process up and not waiting a full year before we start discussing putting in that receiving facility system that would be more virtual, not brick and mortar, and a much more effective and efficient way to move out of the criminal justice system. And I hope we will have more discussions on this in the future, and that you guys will finally be willing to take this out of the criminal justice system and put it in the healthcare system. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can kind of outline that,
Please.
because, you know, this is obviously a key budget issue. As you're well aware, we put money aside in our reserves to be able to address exactly that. And in fact, the phased report said the first thing you need is performance-based contracts coming out with our other providers. We don't control that. Those are independent nonprofits. So working through Central Florida Behavioral Health, the next phase is to bring these folks together, talk about some performance-based contracts. Only after you have that, it's very clear in the KPMG report, can you move to the coordinated access model. So as I said, if we advance this in a systematic way quicker, we'd be more than happy to come back and talk about and outline that. And we have funds set aside that was part of this year's funding of our budget to be able to do exactly that. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to move this in a timely manner. If we contracted for it today, you've just taken an action. You haven't done anything, because it's a systematic approach that we have to change the system that we currently have and we have had for a long time in order to be able to get there. So I don't think that this slows it down at all. I think it's one step at a time, and we'll advance it as we're ready. But that's, you know, that was part of the budget process. That's still staff's intent. The reason we're putting this on it immediately after the budget approval was to get this process going and not to slow down. And so this is the first meeting following your budget approval. And so that's the reason we're moving as quickly.
I appreciate your response, Barry. And I didn't say this was slowing down. What I'm asking is that we speed it up. Since it's a 2-year process to get that access center started, that if we were to start the process now, that data system would be set before we're even contracting. Putting the RFP together it has nothing to do with that. And that process is a long, arduous process. And so it wouldn't be until that data set was done before you'd even start contracting, and that would be interwoven. And so all I'm saying is, and in the KPMG report, it didn't say to do it. It said to do it systematically, but it said to do in year 1 the data system, and at the same time. In that report, it says to do it simultaneously because the time span is so long. So your statement about it saying doing after isn't accurate, because in the report, it says to do it simultaneously because one is done in 1 year and one takes 2 years. And the way we decided in the last meeting when we voted on this, we decided to wait a whole year and push it back. So it would be a 3-year process versus a 2-year process. And all I'm asking is, based on all of the news that, and all of people finally being aware that the criminal justice system happens to be our mental health system and our receiving facility and our referral system, that instead of doing what we said at the last time we discussed this and making it a 3-year process, I'm asking you to consider making it a 2-year process. That's all I'm asking this commission to consider. And the amount of news that has been out there really finally bringing this to the forefront, which, you know, nobody's really wanted to discuss, you know, truly what the real system is. But the bottom line is the real system is a criminal justice system, and it doesn't belong there. It belongs in the healthcare system. And I would really like us to consider moving.
A point of order, please.
And I was just responding to Gary's response, and I'm almost done. So thank you, Commissioner Long. All I'm asking is that you can expediting it quicker. Thank you.
Commissioner Long.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been on this commission for 8 years. For 8 years, we have been talking about trying to identify certain criteria that we want to move forward with as a group. And I just want to put it on the record unequivocally that not one time since I've been on this commission, contrary to what was just stated, we have never, ever talked about defunding our law enforcement community. Not ever. And I resent that implication because all of you are very aware of what a great partner we have with our sheriff and with our law enforcement community in this county. So let's, instead of making up stories about what we have and have not discussed, let's stick to the facts. I think that would be greatly appreciated by everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, well, that was one of my comments because I don't know where that came from because I don't think we've ever talked here about that at all. The second thing I was going to talk about is, to the extent that we have gotten to where we are, and I really appreciate Barry's leadership since he's been here on this. We went outside to get this independent consultant to kind of bring us in for a smooth landing as possible, which includes a pretty wide group of agencies out there that have been doing the work for years and years and are going to be a part of the system that we have in place. I, for one, want to expedite the process where we can. I mean, I don't think anybody here wants to drag their feet. If we're dragging our feet, then let's not drag our feet. But it doesn't sound like we're dragging our feet. It just sounds like it takes time to get to where we want to be. Now, if there is some tip to tail decision making that's going on and we could do more simultaneous, I'm all for that. Let's go. If we can do that and we can do it in the right way, let's not rush and do it the wrong way. Let's keep it moving. And I'm hearing that's what we're doing, but I'm also hearing Commissioner Peters say something else. But she also brought up the word defunding the police, which is not anywhere in our vocabulary that we've had over the last, well, I've only been here 6 years, and certainly I have no interest in that. So I just want to make sure that I'm separating out what is actually true versus what is just being said. And if it's one and the same, that's great. But I just want to make sure that we're doing all that we can to move it in an expeditious manner in the right way. So, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I see this as following exactly what we said we were going to do last time we talked about this. We're contracting for project mobilization, ODS development, performance-based contracting, and launching the program. And there's also money in it that we can allocate this year once those things are done. So I don't know what you're talking about either. Anybody else?
You have Commissioner Peters with their hand up, Madam Chair.
Okay, thanks. Commissioner Peters?
I just want to clarify, I was talking about the national outcry for defunding the police. I didn't say anything about the county commission saying that. And the county commission hasn't, and we've been a big supporter of the sheriff. And the sheriff has done an outstanding yeoman's job. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that we aren't doing the right thing. What I am saying is the study that KPMG presented said to do it simultaneously to have the project up and running in 2 years. This commission decided to take 3 years. And all I'm asking is that you reconsider, whether it be now or in the future, that we consider stepping it up and not making it 3 years, make it 2.5 years, make it 2 years. But I think the public outcry nationally states that there's finally recognition that the mental health system has become the the criminal justice system. And I'm hoping that you all consider to step it up quicker than 3 years and maybe step it up to 2.5 or 2 years. I'm not being confrontational here. I'm just asking you to make a consideration. And again, I never implied anything about the commission saying anything about defunding the police. I'm talking about the national conversation. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Eggers?
Well, first of all, just for the record, I don't remember voting on anything to say, let's wait 3 years. And if we did, and then it was for a reason. What we are saying is move this thing along as expeditiously as possible. And we're taking our leadership from our professional staff and all of their conversation with the members that deliver these kinds of services in our community. To me, if it's 1.5 years, if it's 2.5 years, or if it's 3.5 years, whichever method we can do it as quickly as possible, but doing it the right way is what I'm in favor of. So just for the record. And again, words do matter. So when you say things like you said, it puts something out there that people may pick up on, like the comment about raising our budget, raising taxes this year, which has not been anything different than the last 5 years, about when our values of our properties go up. And we set it aside and put it in reserves. We lowered our expenses for the coming year. That is the message, not the other. So I just want to make sure it's clear when those little words are thrown out there that people don't take them and run with them. This commission has been very supportive, as you just said. And in addition to that, I think this commission is really trying to ramp up mental health, not only awareness, but also more importantly, delivery of service. And so anyway, enough said. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Welch?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Eggers and Long really covered most of my thoughts. I support, for the reasons we outlined, getting the optimal data set, and that name is so much better than minimal data set. Optimal data set first, and then if we move faster than we thought, we do have reserves, and our administrator has said that. But really, to Commissioner Eggers' point, I just wanted to say it's really not the road that we want to go down to start localizing national issues that really don't apply to Pinellas County. We do things the right way here. We've got a collaborative bipartisan spirit that has worked for us. And when you look at what we've done, working with the sheriff on things like Pinellas Hope and Safe Harbor, which try to decriminalize homelessness, for example, the APAD program, adult pre-arrest program. And I need to get the stats on that because I think that we're over 1,000 people have taken advantage of that so they don't have a criminal record for a minor offense. That was a partnership. And also mental health. The sheriff just announced that he's increasing his mental health teams with social workers. And so all those things are happening in Pinellas County, and it's not responsible to try to bring those divisive issues to Pinellas County where they really don't apply. And so I support what my colleagues have said. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Item 30 is the Pinellas, oh, sorry. Do you have something
Go
else?
ahead, no. Sorry.
Item 30 is the Gateway Mid-County Area Master Plan implementation. This is a memorandum of understanding between Pinellas County, City of Largo, City of Pinellas Park, City of St. Petersburg, and Forward Pinellas. Item 31 is a resolution granting an ad valorem tax exemption for the renovation of a historic property in St. Petersburg. Item 32 is okay. This is this is interesting. This is a reuse of existing plans with ACOM Technical Services for Starkey Road improvements. This agreement was actually or design was done in 2008. The project was scrapped though because of a lack of funding. By bringing it back, they want to reuse the plans. To do that, we want to reissue a contract to ACOM to be able to use those plans to move the project forward. It speeds it up, and the project's now funded.
We have a question from
Thiel. Sorry.
Thank you.
I just want to be assured that we aren't paying them twice, that this is actually a feasible way to save some money. And since 2008, do they still have a lot of the same principles that'll be involved, or is it a new group of people that'll be working on the project?
So you have some good questions. I know staff has looked at it. They discussed it with the county attorney's office in terms of the legality of even reissuing a contract like that. But I'll let Kelly speak to it directly if we can on Tuesday in terms of their discussions with the individual project managers. I don't know the answer to that question. So let me get you an answer on that, and I'll have her prepared to be able to answer that on Tuesday.
Thank you. All right.
Item 33 is the third amendment to an agreement with Oracle from BTS. So this is our, this provides for a 3% increase in year 2 of the amendment. Item 34 is reappointments to the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee. Put those in front of you. And item 35 is amendments to the Emergency Medical Services Advanced Life Support First Responder Agreements with 4 municipalities and 2 independent fire districts. These are consistent with the 2021 budget.
Under item number 36, this is actually a confidential matter that I will be giving each of you a call about prior to Tuesday to discuss. And I currently have nothing planned for item number 37.
I will have a county administrator's report, and now we come to county commission. So you have various appointments to different commissions. Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, you have an appointment of 4 for appointments to the Greater Seminole Special Recreation District, appointments to the Pinellas County Educational Facilities Authority, and to the TDC. Any questions on any of those? Okay, on to public hearings. The first item is approval of, it's a extension of a development agreement. This is for an assisted living facility. You gave them a 5-year, and they're asking for an additional 5-year extension for a property that would be constructed on 5 acres on the south side of Keystone Road, basically. Item 45 is a request for an amendment to the previous. This is an extension of a development agreement also, 5-year term to provide additional time for the development of office uses on 2.2 acres on the east side of Belcher in unincorporated Clearwater. Item 46 is a request for a zoning change. This is for Habitat for Humanity. This will allow for, let's see, 3 single-family homes. The local planning agency voted 7-0. You did have 1 person appear in opposition. Item 47 is seeking a zoning change for 0.13 acre parcel that it's currently vacant. This is for, there's an existing plumbing business, and this will allow for vehicle parking. There was no opposite. 1 person appeared in favor and no opposition. Local planning agency recommended 7-0. Item 48 is a request for a zoning change from RA to R1 single family. This is approximately 6.45 acres. This will allow, it consists of 3 parcels right now, 1 vacant, 2 contain homes. If granted, this will allow for a single family home development of approximately 18 units. Questions on that? 5 letters in opposition have been received. And then local planning agency recommended it 6-1. Item 49 is Pinellas County Land Trust, Assembly Trust. This is out in Lellman for the Housing Finance Authority. This would be a zoning change from R4 to multifamily. What this will provide for is, as we put this out, this will produce approximately 86 affordable units under 80% AMI.
And Barry, is this the one that we put a, did we already put an RFP out about this?
We did. So this is our land assembly out in Lellman, where we consolidated it, put out an RFP for people to propose projects. This is the result of that for part of the area, not all of the area, but part of the area.
Okay.
So this will provide 80 units, 86 units under 80% AMI. So really successful.
So have we chosen an applicant yet?
Yeah, the subsequent action will be coming to you, and it'll be to contract with Southport Community Development, Inc. For the redevelopment of the site.
Okay, thanks.
Us partnering, as you know, with different entities, we've gotten a lot more interest in our affordable housing projects. It's pretty exciting because now we're seeing it's actually delivering on what you set as the goals. So that one's an exciting project to have going. The next item, item 50, is on an ordinance amending the comprehensive plan to activity center for the downtown Palm Harbor master plan. This is the second of the public hearings. Item 51 is an ordinance amending the county code by striking section 98.2 related to the renaming of county roads. So in essence, you have two different ways in which you can rename a county road. This will narrow it down to one. I did bring up with Kelly about renaming roads to where they stay one name all the way through, but that's a whole different topic. We didn't want to go quite there yet. Right now, we're just going to have it as one way to rename a road.
We've been talking about that one for many, many years. Commissioner Seal.
And I gave up after working on it for many, many years for a while. I would like to work through Forward Pinellas and see if we can re-energize this discussion. I just want to make sure that this is going to make it easier, not harder.
This makes it easier.
Okay.
All right.
But we're not renaming all the roads yet. Okay. The next one is a ordinance approving Jable for an economic development ad valorem tax exemption. I know you've talked about this for some time. This is approximately $53,000. They're going to put $11.7 million in capital investment right here. Tremendous project, tremendous company right here in Pinellas County.
Madam Chair, you have Commissioner Seal.
Thank you. Commissioner Seal.
It mentions 3 phases. Do we know, and is this in downtown St. Pete?
Yes, this is, there's 3 phases. I'll have to get you more information regarding the 3 phases. It's not on my bullets here.
Yeah, I just didn't know whether this is the largest phase or if it's, what the totality that's expected. And again, where's the location?
What I'll do, they've got a lot of expansion going on. So I'll have a presentation for you, a quick presentation on Tuesday that'll outline the various phases. I didn't ask that question, so I'll make sure we have that for Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 53 is a petition. This would be vacate a 12-foot wide portion of easement to allow the applicant to construct a new deck. The county staff has no objection. And that's the last item on the agenda.
So we have opposition on which one?
Yep.
48. I don't know that we've seen any of that yet, but
48. 4 people spoke in opposition. 1 spoke with questions is undecided. Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Any questions, comments? New business items you expect to bring up? We all got a email from Commissioner Seal about human trafficking. Is that something we can get on? Probably not for next week, right?
Well, I think Lourdes just sent you out an email on that. We actually had Doug Templeton attended the Tampa Bay Task Force. They held their first meeting in September. They were in attendance, and they've asked to be approved for joining that group. So if you read that, if you want us to do more, let us know. We can.
Yeah, I'd like to see that issue on the November agenda, the one that Commissioner Seal sent out yesterday.
Okay.
Madam Chair, you have Commissioner Peters that has her hands up, just FYI.
Thank you, Commissioner Peters.
Yes, I'm glad Commissioner Seal brought that up. I had been planning to bring it up to us as soon as I got the creative, but there's a school, the Art Institute of Tampa has been working on for 2 years with their students, a social marketing campaign that already it's complete and finished. All the creative is free to use. And as soon as she gives it to me in a file that's shareable, I'll send it all to you. But They did work for me years ago when I was working on homeless issues, and they did a social marketing campaign on homeless. They won more than 15 Addie Awards for their work, and I think the work on human trafficking that I've seen is hands down even significantly better than what they did for me 8 years ago. But it's all free, and they've got. I will send it all to you. They have 15-second, 30-second ads. They have posters, billboards, hand cards, buttons. They have everything that you need, and it's all free because the students do it, and all they want is the student credit, right? So no money, no nothing. And even if Hillsborough County is going to spend a lot of money, you know, it's silly because there is already, and I'll send it all to you and you can all judge for yourselves. But I'm hoping that Pinellas County will at least use their products because it's significant. And what impresses me the most about it is they actually are including boys. And when you talk about human trafficking, often you never hear the conversation of boys. And boys and men are trafficked almost equally as often as girls and women. And so I think that their product is exceptional. And as soon as I can share it, I will share it with all of you. I think you'll all be very impressed.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Justice?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I haven't read Lourdes' email, but as we're having this discussion, I know that the email sent out, I guess, yesterday included Pasco's ordinance. And I didn't know if when we have that conversation, what's different about their ordinance from the ordinance that we passed a few years ago. That would be if there's something more that we need to do. So, but that information would be helpful.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty specific with, goes beyond what we had, I think. I think we were targeting nail salons for some reason. But
well, ours included the adult establishments, including some of those others, the massage, nail, the ones that were identified by staff as the spots that we need to be concerned about.
Right. And I can't remember if it had fines involved. Commissioner Seal?
Thank you. I think it's good to wrap this all together and to have that discussion in November. You know, I didn't want to rush anybody, so I think that this is timely to put it on the agenda in November. So, and we can talk about our ordinance. Staff will have more time to look at Pasco and the different. Then we can also find out whether our ordinance of signage had any success, because we really haven't talked about it for a long time. Thank you all very much.
Okay. Commissioner Long.
Yes, Madam Chair, I just wanted to bring up another topic if we're ready to transition to something different. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation about the sex trafficking.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was hoping that Barry might give us a little, I know he's talked to each one of us, but a little update on where we are, what the process is going forward with regard to the Douglas property. I did have an opportunity to go out there and tour the property this week. And for sure, it is a beautiful, pristine piece of property. That said, I also am aware from talking with Barry that we have many properties throughout the county that are on a waiting list that would like us to consider working with them. And the total of that is about $50 million. So given that and our process and the partnership with the city and maybe even the state, I think there's a lot of moving pieces here. And it would be good to have a summary of where we are, what the process really is, because the story that I heard when I was touring the property and the one that I heard from Barry were quite different. And so I think it would be wise if we just had that from you, Barry, direct from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Thank you.
Sure. So
Yeah.
obviously some of the conversations out in the community aren't necessarily factual because they're not at the table. And so we've got to keep this in context that you currently have an agreement between Pulte and the state that could expire on Saturday, depending on whether they extend it or not. Jennifer Bramley, the city manager of Dunedin, and I, along with our teams and our legal counsel, have been very involved in looking at this, discussing this with Pulte. We cannot discuss it with the estate because there's a current contract on it. There's also a lot of issues with trying to come up with something that would work for all parties. Those are also, contentious and not something that can be discussed really publicly, because in fact, you can't even get involved in things that that would require actions in the future. And so we've been trying to find a way to work together on this. Jennifer and I are in lockstep. I know she's going to be discussing it with her commissioners, as I have with you. There are financial limitations. However, we're very interested in the property. We would like to see it stay preserved. And we are interested in being able to, if the contract expires, be able to put a cash offer on the table. However, we have to kind of let that process play out. In the meantime, we've tried to work to see if there's something where we can work with Pulte until that time expires. But we do have options. And so I'm not going to discuss those publicly necessarily, but we have come up with options, and we'll display those as the time is right and dependent upon the circumstances. Right now, the only group that we can talk with is Pulte, and we've discussed that. If that situation changes, there are other options that will be available to us, and we'll try to make it appropriate at that time what we would be willing to consider. So I will try to keep you up to date. It is a fluid situation. It is a negotiation, and there's a lot of interest in various people, but I also have a responsibility to the taxpayer in terms of making sure that it's an appropriate purchase at the right price. I also have a responsibility countywide for understanding that we have limited resources, and we have a lot of property that are currently on the books. People that have come to, that we've said we would like to be able to purchase these other pieces of property. And we were waiting for Penny 4 to kick in, which began in January. And so now we're going to be looking at all of those. So we have limited resources, as you know, and as you stated, we're trying to put together and look at all grants, any type of other funding sources and things like that. We're very, very aware of various granting agencies and funding sources. We've worked with them for years, through our Parks and Recs department. So we're looking at all avenues to be able to try to do what we can to keep this in and as open space and as a conservation area. So more to come on that, but that gives you a little bit of update on where we're at.
All right. Okay, anything else? Okay, Commissioner Eggers.
Commissioner Eggers, you're muted, sir.
Of course, that has to happen again once every meeting. First of all, thank you for that update, and I'm glad that we're pursuing that as aggressively as we can. And clearly, there's a contract in place, and that needs to play out. And I appreciate your keeping us posted on that, and trying to stay out of a lot of the stuff that's going on out there. And please do keep us obviously individually updated as we go along. And I wanted to get back to some of the comments I made a little bit ago, and I'm sorry that I got a little bit energized, I guess. And my whole point really is that on the health related stuff, on the issues that we've been talking about with the mental health piece, I think we're pretty clear on that. I really hope we're doing the most we can as quickly as we can. That's really important. And so just that's really the message I wanted to leave on that. I mentioned something about the budget, and what was said was accurate. The budget costs did go up this year. And so I apologize if I made a comment that made it sound like one of the commissioners, specifically Commissioner Peters, was being misleading. That's not the case. Taxes did go up. They have gone up the last 3 or 4 years. This year, it just so happens that the expenses are going to be less in the coming year than last year. We're trying to minimize millage rate movement, and we're trying our best to look at this 1-2 year period instead of just looking at it 1 year at a time. And it's a unique perspective, but it's because of the anticipated shortfall in revenue. But again, so that was the second thing that I mentioned. I brought that out, and I again wanted to apologize because it really wasn't misleading to say taxes went up, but I just wanted in context with what we've been normally doing. And with that said, I'm finished. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, then, we are done. Thank you all.